Hi, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. My back and me are almost getting back to speaking terms. For those of you who don't know, I hurt my back trying to carry home bottles of pop. And I'll learn not to do that again. I'm also not a young whippersnapper anymore. Sorry, I turned on the light. You know what I really want to talk to you today about is I can't stop thinking about that diabetic who they put me in the same semi-private room in Lionsgate Hospital with this other diabetic, newly diagnosed, and how he just wanted to be in the dark all the time, every time. And I just sincerely hope that he got the help he needed. But, you know, I'm so surprised that people will react to not being able to run a certain distance at a certain speed, but they're afraid to tell people they're diabetic. Oh, it shows it's weak. Well, what do you think not being able to run tells people? Now, you may want to keep your diabetes secretive, and that's okay. You know, we all have reasons why we want to do things, but diabetes is just part of who you are, and you shouldn't have to at any time hide who you are. I keep hearing this time and time again, but nothing's really going to change your mind till you decide to change your mind. And I can understand being sorry, my naggy little pump wanted me to do something. But you should not feel that you're less of a person because you have type 1 diabetes. You're not cool because you have type 1 diabetes. I honestly have to say, as I grew up and went to school, I wasn't really treated differently because I had diabetes versus I didn't have diabetes. When I had a medical situation, I was treated, and we went on our way. Now, one time in high school, this is the only time I really remember sort of passing out at high school. I went to a dance, and we were going to be allowed to sleep in. Though I don't remember taking insulin that night, but I slept. And the morning routine was Sunday morning, and I wasn't getting up out of bed, and the head housemaster was coming around. I'm just doing this all from third hand now. And he got me, and I was out cold, and I was carried to the nurse's office. Now, I was just down the hall from the nurse's office, and I really just, after I found out what had happened, I was embarrassed. But you know what? There was a group of grade 12 students, I was grade 10 at the time, carried me to the nurse's station. And after, they came and asked how I was, and you know what? I ended up to make friends. They came and said, "How are you doing?" And there were times I was dragging, and they would make, "Oh, do you need sugar? Do you need..." They kind of, for the rest of that year, took care of me. And next year I came back as a grade 11, and, things work out. So I can understand people kind of not telling their employers, because they're potential employers, because they're afraid they're not going to get hired because they have type 1 diabetes. Oh, they'll find some other excuse, I've been told. But you know what? You're too damn good. Don't hide in the dark because you have type 1 diabetes. If your office is going out for a celebratory lunch, you made your goals, or it's someone's birthday, don't feel, "Oh no, I'll be the one staying at the office," because you have to inject or do a blood test. I think a lot of the embarrassment of having type 1 diabetes is that we really don't know about it, and we don't really want to tell people, "Oh, they'll think different of me." Well, so what? It's a part of you. You can't keep going and hiding your life away. If you have a talent, you're not wanting to hide that. But just because you have to take a shot of insulin? Come on, really? I just say this from the bottom of my heart, that you are too good. And when you start hiding your diabetes from people, what you are doing is hiding your talents. Because you keep switching off things that you may be damn good at, and you're not ever going to know. And this kind of a I don't want to say that this really annoys me, but I get upset when I hear these stories. And yes, I'm a type 1 diabetic, but that's not all I am. And I've talked about this before, that when, I go and I've done this for a class before, and I've said, okay, get up, give them a chance to write it out. I'm not mean and cruel, and I listed, tell us about you, just a point form. And so often I've heard the negative first. Oh, I'm blah, 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 and I'm a diabetic. And that's always sort of kind of like you want to counteract what people are thinking. But why not praise yourself a bit? Being a type 1 diabetic does not mean that you're any less of a person. And some diabetics really think this. And you're putting the extra stress on your body. And that could lead to higher blood sugars. Now, I'm not saying in every case it does, but it could. You are too good of a person to let that happen to you. And live your life. Yes, I'm a type 1 diabetic. So what? With proper insulin, proper exercise, proper food, you could go on to live a miraculous life. I've mentioned this video before. You can watch a video. I type in type 1 diabetes and I get her pretty quickly. And that was a lady from CNN Business who's a type 1 diabetic. And she went off and she's done great things there. Mary Tyler Moore, a type 1 diabetic. Did that stop her? No. So don't be a slave to your diabetes. Keep it in check, but you don't have to worry and be a slave. Have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye now.
This is just